Lord, praise the Lord, hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Guys, I'm here to talk to you about the children, the teenagers, and the things that's going on in the world today. Now, let's start out with some statistics on our children. The first set of statistics I want to read to you guys are the statistics of the gun violence and the drugs and everything. And these statistics are taken from 1991 to 2025, I believe. I don't think they have anything for 2026. I think it's 2025. Okay. They may have some because I only looked at a few different ones, and I decided to use the CDC statistics. Um, Now, the gun violence is amongst the teenagers. Was it from age 5 to 15? 5 to 18, I think it is. Gun violence is up to 80. It's up 87%. Drug poisoning is up 133%. Injuries that didn't cause death is up 113%. Injuries that didn't cause death is up 10%. Suffocation related death up 12.5%. Self-harm is up to by 57%. Car crashes is down 47%. Um, right now there's more child death from injuries, but there's a decrease in non-fatal injuries. There is the number one is the number one in in death is accidental and unintentional death. The number two is homicide, and the number three is suicide. Stay with me. Okay, now let's do the statistics of from 2023 to 2025. The statistics of youth incarceration. It says over 48,000 children and adolescents are in secure residential facilities, including over 10,000 in long-term secure facilities. Okay, the youth that's under 18, there's 2,000 youth under 18 being held in adult jails, with 513 of that 2,000 serving time in adult prisons. You have, let's see, it say primary offenses. Most youth tongue tie. Most youth are confined for nonviolent offenses, including technical violations of supervision, status offenses, and drug offenses. I don't want to do the racial disparities because it doesn't matter what color our children is. It is the children. Okay. Um, we have the cost. And taxpayers spend up to $148,000 per youth for a 12-month stay. So taxpayers are spending $148,000 for one person for a year to keep a youth locked up in juvenile or in prison. Okay. It says youth in adult facilities are 36 times more likely to commit suicide than those in juvenile facilities. Um, let's see. No, that's not true. Okay. Where was that at? No. See, number of juveniles incarcerated in U.S. adult prisons or jails hit a low of 2,250 in 2021, but they up higher now. It's 32,000. Um, okay, so we're gonna go from there. And first, before I say that, did I get everything over here? I believe I did. Okay, so that's what the youth is looking at right now, and we only 5 months into May, and I'm 5 months into 2026. Now that just came up to 25 to January 25, so we still don't have statistics from February to May, February 25 to May 2026. And then we have been having a lot of different school shootings going on, and the reason why I'm telling y'all this is this. People seem to think that it's okay for mothers to be out of the home working jobs. I understand people won't you don't want to pay your taxes and have to spend your taxes on uh, helping another family live, even though that's selfish. But I understand. I understand. However, you're spending, how much did I say that was per to keep one child locked up is $148,000 a year to keep one young person locked up. Now, if you took that $148,000 per year and used it to help better a child, I think that would be so much better for not just the child, but for the world. Think about this. Now, people complain about people being on welfare. That is food stamps assistance and getting a little cash money to help pay their bills because the mother is staying at home, or the mother, the dad has walked away. In most homes, the dads are not, in most homes, the dads are not in the house. In most homes today, dads are not in the house in the United States of America. Okay. So, and we complain about people being on welfare. Now, the money that they give each family per year do not even come up to $148,000 per child. You can have 5 children and you still not getting $148,000 for all 5 of them and yourself together. But yet, society is willing to spend $148,000 per child to keep them locked up in cages like animals. Instead of letting the mothers, demanding the mothers to stay home and truly raise their children. Truly raise their children. I was talking to someone, I think it was last week, and we were talking about it was a couple of women, and one of them was really adamant on everybody need to work. And she was an older woman. And let me and then the other one was like, well, all mothers don't know how to be a mother. And I agree with that. All mothers do not know how to be a mother. So therefore, we need to demand that mothers take a class. It should be mandatory for mothers to take a class on how to be a mother and raise the children successfully. Okay? But we do not need the mothers to continue to go outside the home to work. You have, like I said, most dads are not even in the home in America. And then you got your mamas leaving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids to somebody else that may hurt them sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally, maybe starving them, maybe downrating them, talking about tearing up their self-esteem. And as we have seen over the years, it's getting worse and worse and worse. You have even family members killing kids in the so-called daycare. You have people molesting the kids in daycare. You have people beating the kids in daycare. And then you just have kids that's in daycare ain't learning nothing. The kids is not taught how to get along with one another, how to deal with anger. They're not being taught how to deal with self-esteem. They're not being loved like they should be, because every child has an internal system that needs and desires their mother to be home, nurturing them and teaching them. That is internally. But yet, y'all want to say the mothers need to get out of the home and go work a job. Yeah, it's not making sense. Make it make sense. The mothers are neglecting their jobs and raising children to be successful people in society, to go out and make anywhere from 27 to 45,000 a year. Poor homes, they only making about 27 to maybe 32, 33, 35,000 per year. And they might have 4, 5, 6 kids. But mama ain't bringing in number maybe 30. I'm going to give it the benefit of 35,000 a year with 6 kids. But y'all want to complain about her bringing in 35,000, about her staying at home and not going to work to get that 35,000 a year versus and raise her children to be successful and deal with life. Teach them how to deal with life issues. You prefer her to go out here and try to make $35,000 a year and to leave her kids at home. Then they grew up watching movies that they shouldn't watch, playing games they shouldn't watch, listening to music they shouldn't listen to, feeding their spirit darkness, because it's what comes in the person. What that person is taught is what they display. It comes out. So with mom not being at home to monitor these things and to teach them self-esteem and to teach them love and teach them how to respect, to teach them how to respect themselves and others, teach them how to work out issues and things like that. You'd rather her be at work trying to raise $35,000 per year to raise 5 kids. And those kids end up going astray. And then you're going to turn around and society itself is going to turn around and pay 148,000 per child to stay behind a cage. So let me get it right. I would rather you go out here and work a job to not even earn enough to take care of your children and ignore them to make 35,000, but then the taxpayers take 148,000 per child to keep them locked in a cage. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't. You can't. And then people, well, she need to take care. I ain't telling her to have all them kids. Okay, you didn't. But don't put it all on her. Put it on the dad too. Dad is the one supposed to be out there earning and living to take care of them kids. And it's not just take care of the kids, but the woman too, because the woman is supposed to be at home raising that kid. It takes 2 to raise that child. It takes 2 to make them, and it takes 2 to raise them. Now society has gotten to the point, even the society, government had got to the place where they was pulling the daddies out of the home, married or not. That's what started all this mess. Then it came after they were successful with that, and then now daddy don't worry about being at home. He'll drop a seed here, drop a seed there, drop 3 here, and drop 5 over here, and then come back over yonder and drop another 2 or 3, and they taking care of near one of them kids. Now he got 5 broken homes, 4, 5 broken homes. Now you got all these kids, and every mama got to leave the home and leave them kids to fend for themselves. to try to make up to $35,000 a year. And now kid out here learning the things they shouldn't be learning, doing the things they shouldn't be doing, because y'all done pull mom and dad out the house. But you mad about giving them a few dollars and food stamps to feed the kids, and you mad about giving them a few dollars to pay their rent and their bills and buy the things that's needed for the kids and for themselves. You mad about giving them that, which it don't even come up to 100. It don't even come up to 100,000, let alone 168,000 for a house of 5 to 6 kids. Make it make sense. You'd rather throw the child away, put them in a position where the child is going to grow up and end up being thrown away, versus taking that $168,000 and giving it to that mother to raise them children. I'm telling you, if you give a mother with 5 kids $168,000 a year, those children is going to grow up. They'll be able to get everything they need and grow up and learn everything they need to learn and grow up to be successful in addition to society and not harm society. See, y'all making kids do things that they ought not to do. Y'all, it's like a breeding ground. You're causing these things to happen. Are you understanding what I'm saying? You're causing it to happen. It's called cause and effect. You pull daddy away, daddy don't care no more. Mama is trying, but she can't do her job and his job. So one of them jobs is going to be neglected. Guess what? Mama's job is being neglected. What is mama's job? The most important part of the whole rearing up a child. And that is teaching and nurturing and loving. And then to add injury to insult, now the government is saying that the mothers have got, some mothers was able to escape, going to work. But now they have to work in order to receive cash assistance. Okay. And then they can only get it up to 5 years. These are the changes they're making. They can only get it for 5 years. Some places is probably already doing it. They can only get it for 5 years. Now, you're willing to throw $168,000 to those private prison systems for one child versus throwing that over there to that mother to raise those 4, 5, 6 children and make sure they come up like they're supposed to. Because now mom can focus on raising the children. But you'd rather, and I'm not saying $168,000 per child. If you give them $168,000 period, baby, you could do wonders with $168,000 a year. With just and with that, you could raise those 4, 5 kids successfully. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay, so you can only get it for 5 years or less. In some places, it's less than 5 years. Then they place the limit on your assets. You can only own one car, and you can't even own a home. If you're not able to, say you married and your husband walk away from you, and now you ain't got nothing, and now you need to go down to the state and ask for help. Baby, you got to sell that house in order for you to get some help. If you got 2 or 3 cars, you got to sell all them cars except for one, and that's because you got to go back and forth to work. Are you following me? But they're willing to give this prison system $168,000 per year for one child. Some places are cutting the amount in order to make people work. It's just, they cut, say you might have been getting maybe $700 that month to go. You might have 5 kids and you might get $700-800 a month. Well, they're cutting that. You might, instead of getting $700 or $800, you might get 3 or 4. Okay. They say, and also in some places, they're cutting provision to help teen parents. A teenager could get pregnant, was 17 and under, they get pregnant and they can still go to the state and they will help them. Now they cutting that out. They don't even want to help even teen parents. Even though teen pregnancy has come down since 1991. It has dropped down 75% since 1991. 75% is not a lot of people, not a lot of children having children today. You understand? Okay, so they're cutting provisions for teen parents, and they also cutting provisions for parents to where there's two parents in the home, which that don't hardly help in no way. Don't hardly no two parent people go to the state to ask for help on living. That don't hardly it may happen here and there, but that's very rare because it's very rare to find two parents in the home. Are you following what I'm saying? Now, people, y'all can continue to sit out there and act like y'all not seeing what you're seeing. These children are crying out. They've been crying out for about 40 years, at least 40 years. When children started killing themselves, when children started killing their parents, when children started killing their schoolmates and their teachers, the killing started. I want to say back in like maybe the 50s, somewhere in mid 50s, where teenagers were starting to kill other people. I think it's like the mid to late 50s. And this is it started out just a little sprinkle. You might have a kid, little gangs, just one or two here, but it wasn't often. Started just a little sprinkle, a little dash. But then here comes the 60s. It started picking up a little bit. Went from a little dash to a little pour. No, we're not even a pour. To a little scoop. And then late 60s to 70s, it started walking. 70s to 80s, it started crawling. Then 70 to 60s, 60s to 70s, no, 70 to 80s, it started walking. 80s and 90s, it started running. Now it's a straight up flow. It's a straight up flow where kids are killing themselves and other people. Where kids are being locked up like they animals. Instead of y'all stopping to say, why did this kid grow up? And you know what? The government have already done different studies on why kids are doing the things that they do. They already know it's because the parent ain't at home. And nobody there to give them no direction. They already know that. It was designed for this. It was designed for it. Look at it. They don't even want to give you, let's see, let's do the math. Say they're giving, let me open up my little phone. Can pull up my calculator right quick. Because I mean you can't make it make sense. Say you got where you at? Okay, say you got 5 kids and you might get, let's be generous, say it's $700 a month. Okay, we're gonna times that by 12. That is only $8,400 per month. Okay, now food stamps, and that's the 700 is to pay the bills. Now, and after you pay the bills, what you got left, you buy the shoes and the clothes or whatever, which you ain't gonna hardly have nothing left. So, because look how they raising up the light and gas and the water. Rent is outrageous. Okay. Let's say that's 8,400. That's 8,400 in cash. That's for 5 kids. Now I'm not sure how much they get, but I'm just saying 700. Now, food stamps for 5 kids, you'll probably get like maybe 500. No, I'll say about 800. Let's give them 800 per month times 12. Now this is just off the top of my head. I don't know. That's 96. That's 9,600. So let's add up 9,600. 9,600 plus the 8,400. That's $18,000. $18,000 per year for a family of five. Now I might, and that's give or take a few dollars, because it might be a little more than that. I might be, undercutting it. But that's not even 10,000. That's not even. That's what did I say? It was 84,000. Let's do that again. It's 8,400 plus. That's $18,000. So let's say $20,000 for a family of five. Now let's do the real thing. Let's do the real thing. So that's say 2,500. Let's say that's 25. That's 20,000. Let's say they give them the family of five with the mother 20,000 with welfare. Now, how much did I say it was? It was 168,000 a year for incarcerating one person. So that's 168,000. Was it 168,000? Yeah, it was. I believe it was. Okay, so that's 1 year. And you got five kids, and all five of them end up in prison. That is $840,000. $840,000. Why? Because you chose not to, because you have taught, the government has brainwashed society to make them think that it is much better and easier for that mother to come out of that home, raising and teaching those children, nurturing and loving those children, rearing them up to be loving people,